Peace and welcome to the One Black Perch Publishing channel, where we explore books on writing, editing, publishing, and creativity. Usually I share insights from books that I've read, but also subscribe to literary magazines and journals. This is one of the magazines that I subscribe to. So they're independent socialist magazines, so a lot of the topics pertaining to labor, related economic theories and trends that emerge or reemerge, in addition to some reviews of relevant books. So the December issue has an article on Luddism that might be useful as you consider just how much you're going to integrate coming technology into your life, as it seems to sort of ramp up and develop pretty quickly these days. So what is Luddism? You know how tech innovations sometimes threaten to replace human labor, devaluing human labor in the process and transforming industries and economies, and that it sometimes results in mass despair and causes people to revolt. Luddites will be the people revolting. They will break the machines. In this article by Mark Allison reviews the book Blood in the Machine, The Origin of Rebellion Against Tech by Brian Merchant, and offers thoughts on Luddism in light of today's tech-reliant lifestyle, the speed of development of AI and the questions ahead. So Luddites are often caricatured to be anti-technology, but according to Allison, that's just an example of history being written by the victors. He writes that Luddites were not crazed technophobes, and many of them were amateur inventors or technical enthusiasts. They didn't start pulverizing machines until they exhausted all avenues of redress. Just like today, not everybody that speaks about the dangers of new technology is anti-tech. They're oftentimes intimately acquainted with new developments as practitioners. They're just looking for proper regulation or for the government to regulate any harm to labor or to the public, and to offer some sort of recompense for or a solution to the problems that they cause. Luddism arose as a response to dislocated workers of England's Industrial Revolution. Craft workers petitioned Parliament to protect them using basic labor laws and offered alternatives that favored both profits and the workers. So when they say they exhausted all other options, that included political options and economic solutions. These weren't just people just looking to break stuff or to cause chaos. But don't misunderstand, though. Just because you're tired of learning new social media platforms or decided to opt out learning new ones for the time being, or because you've built a habit of limiting the time you spend on devices, detoxing often, it doesn't make you a Luddite. It just makes you protective of your energy, negotiating, what's worthy of it, and being conscious of it, which is a great thing. But if you do want to dismantle like the smartphone manufacturing industry because of how it treats its laborers or quality of life of the people affected by that, where natural resources are extracted locally and exported to people that have no stake in the lives of the people where it's sourced from, it's you might have some Luddites. You might have some Luddite tendencies. So Saul Williams actually gave a talk recently called Over My Dead Body, where he called for a 5-day labor strike, in part for this reason. If you want to check that out, I'll put the link to that in the description. But back to the article. So Allison writes that it's convenient for modern entrepreneurs to dismiss anyone who has fears about new technological ventures as Luddites. And that's why the myth that they're anti-progress and anti-technology and anti-capitalism won't easily die. These people aren't anti-capitalist, but they get too much mileage out of that smear. The public-focused reason why the myth won't die, according to him, is because we haven't fully come to terms with the industrial speed of industrial development, how it unfolds us completely with each new device or chatbot upgrade. In Merchant's review, he compares today's working class to yesterday's industrial textile workers and points out their resemblance to Uber and Lyft drivers and Amazon warehouse workers and graphic designers, and having to wrestle with how companies are basically campaigning for AI and its use and to be, proliferated everywhere, and having to wrestle with that within their industries and making it seem like it's inevitable and integrating it into everything and all pieces of their business, even with the human costs considered. For writers, artists, and other creators, it might be important to know that publishing companies are starting to dabble with AI too. HarperCollins recently partnered with Microsoft. HarperCollins is expected to offer AI licensing deals to authors ranging from $2,500 to $5,000 in royalties. And they'll be able to use their material, their book, their written content, train their AI. Companies are expected to follow suit, applying AI to their operations in some way, likely within the next year or two. As a matter of fact, 300 new publishing startups have emerged since with AI hit the market. Companies often adopt new tech just to compete with each other or to have gained an advantage over a competitor. So it won't be long before the big publishing companies, all of them, adopt it in some sort of way, even if it means, an increase in droughts in certain places or children working in mines. Even though Merchant encourages technological innovation and curiosity, he admits that a major obstacle to the responsible, humane application of technology is our system of capitalism. Including his review, Allison agrees with that sentiment, saying that an ethical and democratic process to avoid technological fatalism is beyond where capitalism is designed for us to reach. But what do you think? Had you heard of Luddism before? Do you think technology is going far enough or too far? Plan to opt out? Are you into machine breaking? I've included a couple of links to articles, people and organizations who advocate for and report on responsible tech in case you want to learn how to play a part in ending unnecessary suffering or show resistance to oppression. Again, the monthly review always has essays on topics that I think about regularly as I pay attention to the world around us. And they review the kind of books that my Amazon algorithm never got around to suggesting, despite how clear my interests are. So, what books, journals, or magazines are you reading? Anything anti-colonial?